Alright, this video here is to establish the cumulative evidence of a malicious premeditation, establishing mens rea against the quote powers that be that represent themselves as a state, such as states that issue licenses, and this is the identification card they gave me, this is the Florida card. And I wanted to extrapolate the number. Why the number they gave me? Why did I get that number? So we remember here the Obama thing here with the DMV, FOP, PBA, SA, DMV, DA, and then the Osama thing with the NSA. The PBA turns the NSA over here, the DMV. And you remember from my prior videos that we cracked the SSI code that they gave me with the defense intelligence statement there, which you can stop at 10 because that's the end and 10 do. So we'll see. Let's go over this first. You know, there's the 10 here. If you ordinarily order the defense intelligence statement and you don't, and you count the space in number 8, then N falls in 10, doesn't it? N in 10 do. That's where it comes from. But if you don't number that space, then the T in 10, that comes there. And you'll, of course, remember the whole Morse code here, dash, dot, dash, dash, that's all right. So, what I did here was the same thing as I did the SSI code. I took these ordinal orders for this defense intelligence here, and I applied the number that on the license through that statement, and then transferred the tonemes resulting. So here, N is 5, so there's 5. And 3 is F, so there's 3F, and then there's 6 is S, 6 is S, there. Okay, so what you see, what results here is the word fees comes out here, where the 3-70-4, now here that's the number 70, and the number 46, 70 minus 46 equals 24. 24, the atomic symbol. Remember, we're using the International IUPAC Terrorist Table. That is from this Marine folder right here that I've established. Here's the Marine symbol that I've established in prior videos. Is encrypted to emulate some predisposing populace of their elderly for raping children's anus with thermometers there. Set up a child there, it's okay. So we bring this down here, we drop the A straight down here, so that would be like carrier fees. Oh, well, let's go back over here first. So the CR, if you put the opposition gate A between the C and the R, you get the car, which is, of course, the DMV and all this car fees. But what is it really there? Carrier fees. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Carrier fees, that could be like what? Antennas and so forth. Or could it be like Navy? We'll get to that in a minute. So here, we drop the A down here, ANFS, and then you'll notice here, it's dash O, but it's really dash dot, dash circle, which is, like here, T and E. So let's go ahead and put the T, E in there, okay? And then we'll do the same thing over here, where we're going to have the A. And you'll see over here, this turns into SOS when you drop this SOS dot dash circle S. Okay. So now all you would have to do then is put 4 at T. That's like 4 AT&T. That turns this into antenna E there. Then so it ends up being the statement. So here, if you use their code, of course, their hysteresis looping filter, the S at a N, normally pronounced Satan, in opposition gate, it's S at a N, like the A, the NS in Athens for Greek fraternities, and the NSA and all that stuff. So here, then you put the S at a N, then it turns into the word antenna, which goes back to, of course, their Wi-Fi antenna. That's Wi-Fi antenna. That's the milligram shock box experiment type stuff. And it's, it's a public airspace. Actually, if the phone goes into the park, then that's public airspace. No, it's not their lines. It's not their airspace. And that corporation can't exist without public tax-funded roads. So any road to any of their tower systems too, don't owe them anything. But see, now, am I the only one complaining here about technology and their fees and all this stuff, extortion coming through these technology people here? They think that they own all this stuff here, like, you know, airspace and public parks and so forth. No, here we have, this is the Wall Street Journal. This is from Friday, 21st, 2020. This says here, Goldman and JP Morgan back new exchange. The Goldman Sachs Group and JP Morgan and Company agreed to back a new low-cost stock exchange that plans to launch this summer to challenge the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. JP Morgan is what the EBT accounts are through. Wait a second, here it says, MEMEX was created after years of frustration among brokers and traders with the fees charged by the big U.S. exchange groups, particularly for market data feeds. Fees? Did I say fees right there? With the fees charged by U.S. big... Did this say fees right here? Carrier fees? That's a lot of coincidence for a coincidence. So let's switch this over here. So there would have to be a reason why. So I took this and orderly ordered the number on the license, and then I found that here the dash circle is in the 5th and 6th ordinal, dash in the 9th, circle dash in the 11th and the 12th, and dash and a circle in the 16th and the 17th. So, of course, we'll come back over here to the IUPAC periodic table with the thermometers rape Uranus in a child hospital, set up a child's anal canal, and you'll see here that 5 plus 6 is, in that periodic table, Na. That 5 plus 6 is 11, that's Na. 11 plus 12 is 23. 23 is V. And then 16 plus 17 is astatine, 33, that's AS. So if you ask not what you can do for your country, the hint, H and T, ask not. So here, if 33 plus 6, if an at T, because wait a second, here, the 9th ordinal is dash, right? So here, T is dash, at T, a C, the 6 turns upside down to the 9, then that's 33 plus 6 equals Y, which equals Navy. Wait a second, you got to try and say, what? That's preposterous? This here is a Navy recruiter, nuclear propulsion. Here, they have things called cryptography. In fact, where's the one? There's a specific flyer I have. There it is. NAT. New Ascension Training. The Navy. There it says cryptology technician. By the way, let's go over something real quick here just to show you. Somebody didn't really do their work very good, because here, either this is cryptography or somebody made a mistake. She says, I remember thinking this is my chance of make the most of my life. My chance of make the most of my life. Isn't it supposed to, you aren't supposed to, this test here you're supposed to take, what is it? ASVAB entrance exam. Let's say, general science, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, automotive information. You always double check automotive. Does nobody double check? Make the most of my life. Chance of make the most of my life. Anyway. So that's pretty interesting. This is the ID that the state of Florida gave me, of course. And it's so, quite obviously, this seems to be accumulative evidence. So if you go again for this ask here, that's 19, you would have needed that K there, and for the attack to complete that, you would 19 there too. That would be 19 plus 19 is 38. 19 plus 19 is 38 plus 1, which is the H and T. No T because the T isn't there. There's no T over here at number 9. That doesn't come down for the Navy statement here. That equals 39 as well, doesn't it? That's pretty good cryptography. Wow, that's pretty good. American gangster, rapist, rape. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. So carrier fees. That's Navy carrier fees too. Wow, wasn't it? So that's pretty interesting that that's like that. So let's go to some other evidence here. Let's come into view with that. And we'll take this over here, plowing that back now here, the Obama thing here. It's okay. Now that when we come over to COVID, there has to be a reason why, an absolute reason why in cryptography and word comprehension as the ASVAB, why there's a difference between coronavirus and COVID. So you'll see if you go 91101 over here, then you take S and M, and you convert these. First of all, this you would use. Here's a better version of it. Here you'll see the S. You can use this Sanskrit symbol here. Converts to English T, and it's parity to the English S. Use the M here, this Sanskrit symbol, that converts to the English N, and that ciphers SATAN, S and M. Notice though, here that there's now Satan, the name, and Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft. And notice, if you use this key here, IVY as an Ivy League college, or Ivy as in plant, his name turns into Sativa. If you just take that little bottom serif off that Y and make it a V instead, okay? Now the S in English, C on S, that runs this apposition gate. It has to run through that. That converts the Russian looking symbol C there. It converts to S there. So that converts the S to C. Then over here, the M and D, of course. That M and D, but that's S at the end. So the S goes over here. Use the Hebrew meme, which converts to the English M. Or you could use the Semek, which is nearly the same symbol, which converts to the S, which would be the S at the M if the M is in D. Now you come down here and you do this B and D. Oh my goodness, a favorite thing over here. So then you run this code, A, B, out, go V, because the V from Russian, here we're using this is the 1979 Webster's Collegiate Dictionary here, conversion table from Sanskrit, Russian, Greek, Arabic to English and Hebrew, and tonemes. The B turns into a V here, and that turns that as CBD into COVID when you drop the 01 from the 911. And over here, this would say this is poisonous plants of the United States and Canada, Kingsbury. 1964 Prentice Hall books, page 47. Acute selenium poisoning may be duplicated with injection of inorganic selenium. Symptoms include andrexia, depression, and death through respiratory arrhythmic cardiac failure. I'll say, so we would come over here and we take the 911 and we run this all code. That's really irrelevant right now. Because there's another greater point about this whole thing is in relation to the 911 here. This, okay, is the USA Today. Wednesday, September 8th, 1998. flight transcripts give more details of jet crew's flight. They're talking about flight 111. Over here, they say flight 111 and TWA flight 800. This shouldn't take too much in the way of brains here to show that 11 plus 800, 111 plus 800 is 911. Over here, oh, I must say, I found this at in a box outside a donation box in Tifton, Georgia in 19, and it was filled with all kinds of old newspaper. I just happened to grab the right one. This says the U.S. Grapple, the world's most advanced salvage ship, will assist and recover ever. This is the Grapple. Notice the vector sign. Well, it's called a vector sign in the Air Force. Was on Victor sign. What's on the wing? RS-53. Come back over here. This is 53. Item. So we'll take the 53 that goes before the Grapple. There's the IG. Okay. We'll take the RS here. That's pretty interesting. RS is R on S, as in like B, lack. R on S. And notice the WIC, that's an EBT term too. In WIC, Brunswick, okay. 35 plus 16 equals 19. Alright. But it's always B lack, so you get rid of the B there. It puts the R and the S up there. Okay, RS 53. So what does it do then? When you R on Grapple, then what do you get? IG Apple, run, IG Apple, be less, and be lack government, right? Big Apple, run, Big Apple, Big Apple, that's what it is. Okay, so we come over here. Here in the Navy, this in 2018, at least this phone, this device, DARPA device, official device made by the DARPA people and DERA people to transmit their stuff, said that a black rear admiral was charged in the Navy for falsifying rape cases against Navy SEALs. There was the whole big deal with the Asian Big Eddie guy who was fucking handing out, excuse my language, who was handing out Miley Cyrus tickets for all kinds of corps contractors. There was the commander, Navy commander, who was the black son, who was involved in the Lonzie case of the missing baby out of McClenny, Florida. So, that, and that whole thing comes to the whole Obama era. That's really interesting. You might say, oh, you might say conspiracy, but that's not it. That's the whole thing. That's the cloak. Here's where the interesting comes in. This is the same newspaper. This is the interesting part. This is really what they're hiding. Because they weren't hiding anything. Here they are. Telling everybody, home cure for the Y2K bug. The world's going to come to an end. That's not what they're hiding now, 11. That's not conspiracy. The conspiracy lies here on this page. Notice. Check update. Wednesday, September 8, 1998. Look closely at this. You see that word here? Or is that car? The phaser sends one signal that tells the radar the car is going. Or is it the phaser sends one signal that tells the radar the ear is going 15 miles an hour. That's pretty interesting. You want to say car, that's definitely an E, a different font E. It's not the same font as the E in the beginning of the same sentence. How many fonts are there on your computer? Look at down here, what's right below it? Crystal ear. Oh my goodness, could you imagine that? Crystal ear. Frequency response 200 hertz. 6142 hertz, harmonic distortion, so on. Oh, ground ramp penetrating radar trying to affect ear. That's what it really is. Oh, and the ear operations where the thermometer got slid up the child's anal canal, who is supposed to be The Indiana Jesus. Oh, that's right. The life of Brian instead of Jesus Christ. That's why it's Indiana Jones, because it's Indiana J on ES in the US. Oh, Indiana Jesus, the life of Brian. Oh my. Oh my. There's so much. Oh, so much evidence against me. You're all so absolved. Oh my goodness. And I wonder what that have to do. All this stuff here. This ear stuff here. Car and ear translation. Remember, car and ear combined is what? Almost like carriers. Carrier fees. Car ear fees. Isn't that what it's saying? Where was that car ear thing there? What is it? Carrier fees. What is this? Car ear fees. I'm sure they would have any kind of legitimate excuse if they were the attempted alibi excuse, not a legitimate excuse. Because here we have here, Letzi, the new director here, he said, the Letzi mission sustains our nation's frontline law enforcement personnel. Just sustains it? Well, what if it doesn't need to be sustained? For the Navy's tap out program with their car rear intent. And I wonder what that really has to do with their fixation with Jeanette, like Jeanette Airlines at Area 51. And why the Democratic Party, every time they come in, it's always Jeanette Reno, Jeanette Nalapaniano, whatever it was. Now it's going to be Jeanette Yellen. Pretty interesting, isn't it? I wonder what these are. Mosquito trophies.